Board of Education special meeting to order, April 17th, 2024 at 6:08. Rise for the pledge of allegiance. Bobby, to it. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I just get that. It's on autopilot.
Our third meeting of the evening. Thank you guys all for coming and accommodating it. I know it's hard when it's not a regular meeting, but lots of good things to get done and talk about and get through, and hopefully get through quickly. First, approval of the agenda, the motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Steve. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Public comment. Do we have any public comment? We have no public comment in the room. Do we have any public comment online? If so, if you could raise your hand. And if you can't raise your hand and you just want to unmute, you can try that way too. We will move on to number 4. Vote to approve the 2024-2025 educator and leader evaluation plan. This is a continuation from last time when Stephanie and Dr. Tabor had come to present this to us last time. And there were some comments we wanted to have Stephanie come back. So we just continue to discuss that a little bit and see if we can get that through. I did want to state, and I did forward to the board, we did get 2 separate emails from the teachers union and the administrators union in full support of this work. We should have those. But I guess, yeah, Stephanie, you want to give us an update?
Yeah, I'm just distracted by the wasp up there, so
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I didn't even notice it.
It's all right, I'm allergic. So Matt and I had met the day after we had the meeting, and we had a long conversation about all the feedback that we've received and the conversation that we had the night before. We did make 2 minor changes to some of the wording based on the feedback. So on the leader evaluation plan for page 5, we did remove where it said or other mutually agreed upon framework. So basically stating that all of the leaders are going to be evaluated using the same rubric. And then for the educator growth plan, under quality feedback, we replaced the word protocols for observation protocols with observation form. After Matt and I, we had a very, very lengthy conversation about everything that we heard, and we really appreciated everything that you all shared, and the feedback, the guidance, the suggestions. And basically what Matt and I had agreed to was our committee, which is a very large committee, has spent a lot of time working on this, collaborating on this. It was really, really a very good, solid team effort. And we had a lot of good conversations around what our current plan is, how we want to modify that. And our goal really for this year was just to make sure that we were meeting the guidelines that the state wants us to meet for next year. There are still a lot of other things that we want to do, but we just felt that taking those things on right now were too big of a task. And we really want to make sure that we are mindful of what we're presenting to the educators, what we're presenting to the leaders, and we're not overwhelming them with all of this information, which was why our hope was to get this approved this year so we can start training and then carry it over. So some of the feedback that we had heard at the last meeting, we are definitely going to continue to look into that, continue to bring that to our PDAC, have conversations around what we want to modify moving forward. But we just felt the fact that we've all worked on this, We got consensus from our committee. We got consensus from both unions. We felt that it was good with the way that we had presented it. And so we didn't really make any other changes other than those two wording changes that I just shared. And that's all I've got.
Sorry, I'm in the middle of doing this and then I'm getting background too. Which one's this one?
Okay, thank
With that, and so Stephanie, after giving us that update, so I would, for purpose of discussion, there's a motion to approve the 2024-2025 educator and leader evaluation plan.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on what we just heard and from last meeting?
Nope, just want to thank you for taking the feedback to the peeps. And like I said, at the end of the meeting y'all are the ones making the decisions, so thank you.
And we thank you too. We appreciate, like I said, all of your feedback and collaboration.
We know it's a lot of hard work, and I think a lot of us outside the realm of Linda, who does this work, it's overwhelming to see, and it's hard to grasp. And I think most of us are just saying, does this do what we need it to do?
Right.
And you give us that confidence, so we really appreciate that. Any other questions, comments? All right, with that, I will take a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstained? Okay, motion passes.
I told Stephanie she doesn't have to
It's
stay
okay.
for the rest of the meeting, but
I'm here, so I'll just,
Okay.
I'll give myself a break. because
You
We're live.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's right, they won't know.
start looking at the wasp again.
Yep.
Up there.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
we'll move
okay.
on to number 5, and we also thank Matt as well and that whole committee. It's
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
huge undertaking, and it was good to see the emails from Craig and from Tom Ford, and hopefully the teachers will get it now. Is that what goes to them?
Well, we're gonna submit it to the state.
Yeah.
I don't anticipate they're gonna get back to us quickly. So, we are going to find a way to bring, share this out with them, but also keep them in mind that, we're still submitting it to the state. There might need to be, we're hoping that there's not, based on, the fact that we feel very confident that we're meeting all of those guidelines, but you never know what they're looking for. So we will make sure that we communicate with the staff what the next steps are for us, and as well as what future training is gonna look like.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem.
Number 5, vote to approve the educational specifications for the Memorial School renovation expansion project. So I just barely before the meeting sent this one out to you guys. Kim has been down to the wire, getting language down with Rusty and Carson. It is incredibly long. And it has a lot of the language that the state's really looking for on these ed specs. And I was floored to see how much that Rusty and Carson were able to put together with just knowing us and the relationships we have here, plus all the documentation. And it's been pretty amazing to watch it happen.
Yeah, and I mean, it is 184 pages, but some of it, most of this is what the state wants to see. So it kind of is right down to what's your floor material finish, like a lot of it's details. So that kind of stuff is really, but none of this stuff locks us into, like, this is a living document. So if there's something at because the concept design, we said that could change. So I went through every single word in this document today and made every single change that I thought was, and Lindsay and Doug did as well. But so that's why I apologize that you didn't get it. Certainly this is a process that we need to have in order to file for the grant application. But there's really nothing subjective in here. It's really just stating what the design how we got there in a nutshell, that also considering maybe a new facility, because the state wants to see that you did consider that. And what we expect the spaces to look like. But again, nothing is anything that they'll say, oh, it's in here, that's what you have to do. That's not the case.
The only wordings that like, just so you guys have the confidence in it, the only wordings that really popped out to me that we changed was how the project mission and goals were and objectives, and it kind of like muddled a little bit with like board goals and objectives and a committee, so we just changed that, so it matched our language, and that's just something Rusty and Carson wouldn't have just based on, what they do.
And again, a lot of this is, I've said this before, it's template. So, and then they just they take it and then they just kind of make it, so there might have been a statement in there, like there was one about a greenhouse. Well, another district had a greenhouse. We're not looking to have a greenhouse. So just things like that I had to go through and look at, but because I rushed them. Had I not rushed them, they would have caught them.
I think the stuff that we talked about the most was, again, because I think they used their former template, was there was stuff that really looked more high school related.
Yeah, some of the language. very
Work-based learning and all these things that like,
Government, civics, and
So-
yeah.
so we
Nothing
just took
that
that
would-
stuff out.
Nothing that would harm us.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
not
something
bad.
we
We just tried to
do
make
at
it
our
as
elementary level.
accurate as possible to what we're talking about
Yeah.
here.
So.
Have any of our experts from the building committee taken a look at that document yet?
They have not.
They're more the educational specs than anything though.
Okay.
But yeah, I think everyone should look, take it home, take a look. It's a working document, so it's something that, we can really.
And the state gives us feedback on it. So the state would give us feedback on it, but also at least this allows us to submit it. And then building committee we can change it. And then we could submit a revised one. We'll have lots of meetings with the state where we go back and forth.
I would think one of their main priorities is looking at the appropriateness of this plan for the grade levels that we're proposing.
But it does go
The
through every grade
buzzwords.
level individually
Yeah.
too, so it goes through,
Mhm.
pre-K, kindergarten first, and what the objectives for learning in those grades
Probably
are.
good thing they got rid
It's
of
pretty
it.
fascinating once you get through it.
And it's a lot of, like I said, buzzwords. It's things that they want to see
Mhm.
in a plan. And so,
And you need to have it to submit the grant application.
yeah, they won't, that's considered a complete application. If you're missing one thing, they don't even look at it. So it has to be there.
So, with that, I would ask for, I'd make, ask for a motion to approve the educational specifications for the Memorial School renovation expansion project. You want to make that motion? Bob?
Sure, I approve it, move it.
Okay. Second?
I'll second.
All right, any other discussion? Any other discussion? Oh, right,
There'll be a quiz on it at the next meeting.
right, yeah, quiz on every single, yeah, a monthly quiz, we're gonna add it at the end. All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed, any abstain? Motion passes.
Geez.
No. Not anymore. Do you have an extra copy of the plan amendment?
I do.
They're all here.
Yeah, I gave all my.
They're right here.
It's okay. Yes. All right, moving on to the next one. Vote to approve, proposed amendments to the plan of regionalization for, a regional school district. Say that 10 times. And again, another huge ask and, hard work by Kim and Bob and Lucy and Robin and this week and the attorneys to get the language correct. So I guess we could start with the motion. We can go into discussion on it, if that makes sense. So with that, make a motion to approve the proposed amendments to the plan of regionalization for Regional School District 13.
Should you include
what they are,
what it is, with the whole thing, reading this on it, or not?
It's linked. Yeah, it's linked. Yeah, we don't have to read the whole thing.
The motion under 6 is what you should read.
Number 6.
On the agenda.
I didn't see one. The only thing I have here is,
I have an old agenda.
It's the vote to approve the
Is there-
proposed amendments of the plan of regionalization for Regional School District 13.
yeah, it's Just like on the-
That's Friday night, sorry, yeah, I
Yeah,
have an old
it's
one,
like-
thank you.
So moved.
So moved, Bob,
Second.
second by Jason. Discussion. All right, so on, Kim, you want me to go through the whole reasoning or just we're gonna go through?
So if you, to talk about why we need the public
Yeah,
hearing and.
Yep.
Okay, so just, it's a state statute that anytime you send anything to referendum, you have to have a public hearing before that, and public hearing has to be a certain number of days before the referendum. The public hearing also starts the silent period of the 30 days, or at least until referendum. So, setting the public hearing now, gives us a little bit more time to talk about the plan amendment until that day, which we have tentatively, we have scheduled for May 1st, but this will lock it in with May 1st, if that's still the date you want. That day, we have to have two public hearings. We're gonna have and they have to be two separate. We have to have the first public hearing on the plan amendment, the proposed changes to the plan, and then we have to have a public hearing on the funding authorization for the school. They cannot go together simply because the statute is one for each, but they're gonna be the same day. The referendum will then be sent, the plan amendment question will be sent to referendum that evening, starting the silent period, the 30 days referendum, hopefully for June 11th. And then in order to have, you have to have a plan amendment approval to have a project to vote for the bonding. So once a successful plan amendment referendum is accomplished, then like the next day, you can have a special board meeting and send the funding authorization to referendum. So there's gonna have to be two referendums. It's the right way to do it. We originally thought we could put them both on the same, we were actually told we could put them on the same ballot or same day, but actually it's probably best only because there's a difference in who can vote for which.
which
So
we didn't realize if you,
property
for the
owners,
property owners can vote on the
bonding,
bonding, but registered voters can only vote on plan amendments. So if we had them on the same question, it would cause havoc. It would probably have to be separate pieces of paper. I don't know how they would do it.
answer both, right? I mean,
Right,
it's
and I
too
think
hard.
I think when it comes down to it, we wanted everything to be in the same space on the same day. You know, we wanted to be consistent. But really, when we think about, it, we really need to make sure that the plan amendment passes before we go to ask for the funding. And we could do that right after. We could do that. You know, if we're in June for the plan amendment, my suggestion would be to wait until August when summer vacations are over and we have more representation of the community here. And, you know, coming back to school, but it's something we can talk about as that happens if, you know, if it does pass.
Well, the positive side of that is that still gives us all summer to be able to talk about. So until you send it to referendum, you can still talk about it all summer. So, but also then at that point, even if you do have an August referendum, you still might be able to have one late September, maybe even late October. You still have a couple more chances if it's not successful.
But the great part about it, and I think what's been hard is it's hard to present a plan amendment without a project. And so we did talk to, we talked to council, we can do that. So we will be presenting it as a whole. We just won't be sending the funding authorization to referendum until after.
Yeah, because it's very, I mean, it has to be made very clear that this is the plan, but without the funding, it can't happen. So without the plan amendment, that won't happen. Even if you say the funding, but you have to approve the plan amendment. So they go together, but they go in a circle.
And part of our education process is that we really need people to vote yes for both. And we don't understand why anyone wouldn't vote yes for both or no for both. Because they're kind of tied together, but we still bear the burden of communicating that to folks and not taking for granted that if we get the positive plan amendment, that those people will be motivated to come back 2 months later and approve the funding. So I think the option to do more communicating over the summer is an important one. And just as a reminder, the standard on the plan amendment is a little bit of a higher one. It's got to pass in both towns separately. Whereas the bonding,
That's
is
the majority of
Just
both
a
towns.
so, yeah.
I don't know if anyone has had a chance to go through it. If anyone has any questions, and we did have a couple goes at it back and forth between all of us. But it does label out, the 3-school model. And it's very specific, and this is something that I think is really important, that it could have been a very vague plan amendment. We didn't want to do that. We want to make it very clear what our vision was for the district and what we wanted, which was that 3-school model. So it does even specifically go down to pre-K through grade 5 at Memorial, grade 6 to 8 at Strong, and 9 through 12 at Coggins. And then furthermore, after that, it does actually state the closure of both Brewster and John Lyman School upon the transition to the 3-school model. So that is the wording to let everyone know that those buildings would not be repurposed or leased or sold until after construction's been complete.
And this information will be out.
Yeah, it's linked on the agenda, but it's a big part of our whole presentation, and we're gonna be sending it to the public hearing, so we're gonna be talking about it again. I just want to give you guys an overview, that's all. So with that, do we have any other questions under discussion, comments?
And the reason that it's called temporary school is because that was the title of the report. When it was, when the committee was.
Yeah, the temporary final report.
Right.
And-
What do we have?
And the approvals go back to 1968 and like 67. And refer to it as the temporary report, so that's the name that stuck. That's why.
Any other comments? Nope. Okay, all those in favor? Motion,
Yeah, Bob made the
Yeah.
motion, I seconded it.
Oh, never mind. I'm looking at the next one.
Motion passes. Okay, number 7. And what's the I in there? I just realized.
It's because there's too little, it's one.
One
and
is
then
for
the
just,
two.
and
Two
to approve the
here.
one. No.
Okay,
This
but
is
it's
good.
one vote, right?
It's one. vote.
Okay, oh, okay, okay. All right, number 7, I make a motion to schedule a special district meeting public hearing on Wednesday, May 1st, 2024 at 7 p.m. at the Coggins Regional High School Auditorium, 135 Pickett Lane, Durham, Connecticut, for the purpose of holding a public hearing to present and receive public comment on proposed amendments to the plan of regionalization for Regional School District 13. And 2, to approve the warning of the special district meeting public hearing.
So moved. Second.
Second by Jason. Any discussion? Oh, any discussion? Okay, with that, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion passes. Number 8, I make a motion to authorize the superintendent to submit the proposed amendments to the plan of regionalization for Regional School District 13 to the State of Connecticut Commissioner of Education and the town clerks of Durham and Middlefield respectively. So moved by Lucy,
Second.
second by Jason. Any discussion? You just do have that in front of you. I've looked at it many. Many times.
I'm just curious about the timing. So if we send it to the state before the referendum, like, don't we want, and I trust y'all, I mean, I don't know, but like, it sounds premature to send it to the state before we've had the referendum.
Correct, but the statute says submit to the state, so we're meeting the law by submitting. Will the state come back and say no? I mean, I'm sure they would approve it, however, if the voters say no.
Got it.
I don't know that the state would ever, Bob, but
They would,
you know, they kind of would leave it up to the
Yeah.
voters.
okay, like I said, I was curious.
The Last time we submitted it to the state before we had the referendum, but they never responded and then I got voted down, so.
Yeah. Thanks. Just curious.
Any other discussion? Right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion passes.
Yeah, it also makes to go to the town clerks. They have to have copies.
Yeah, it says town clerks of Durham and Middlefield respectively. Number 9, vote. I make a motion to, one, schedule a special district meeting, public hearing on Wednesday, May 1st, 2024, 7:30 PM at the Cognitive Regional High School Auditorium, 135 Pickett Lane, Durham, Connecticut, to discuss a resolution to appropriate $76,130,000 for the expansion and renovation of Memorial School in Middlefield into a pre-kindergarten through grade 5 school, and to authorize the issuance of bonds, notes, or temporary notes in an amount not to exceed 39 million to finance the appropriation or so much as may be necessary after deducting grants to be received for the project. And 2, to approve the warning of the special district meeting public hearing.
So moved. Second.
Second by John. All right, any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstained? Motion passes.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Can we have a discussion, please?
Ethan, second by John.
Linda wants
All those in
discussion.
favor?
Aye.
Roger, I do see your hand up. If you want to get in touch with me, if you have any questions, I can,
Did you want to allow me to ask a question?
but feel free to email me. Thank you.